almost broke me again. I want to fight. It's a good cut, but it's also, I think, clever too. I think why? Fundamentally, she has the best design. Maybe nothing really matters. And then they died. Hello Internet, it's I the Roshi and I'm back with another reaction, this time continuing with Genshin Impact's version trailers. We're starting from 3.0 and we're going all the way to 3.8, which is the latest one. We're caught up! We're gonna be caught up! This is crazy! Anyway, we're finally here, let's get into it.
Have you heard of Irminsul before? The Dendro Archon is known as the God of Wisdom because her consciousness is directly connected to it.
To the people of SUMERU, she's not only a symbol of wisdom, but also of power and kindness. Unfortunately, she disappeared in a great calamity a few hundred years ago. The sages later found the newly born Dendro Archon and whisked her back to SUMERU.
It's Lesser Lord Kusanali's birthday. Nilou's Dance of Sabzerus is about to begin. The most important performance at the Sabzerus Festival.
The goddess of flowers began to dance. Countless beautiful Padisars began to bloom wherever she stepped. Though we're just tiny people compared to the divine, we still have to do our best to make sure that the birthday girl feels loved on her special day. The stage is going to be even prettier when it's festival time. I can't wait for you to see it. Trainee Forest Ranger Kale reporting for duty. Hi! Fly! Fallen Amba! Help!
The Withering has been recorded in SUMERU for millennia. It's said that it originates from the depths of the world. I'm afraid we Rangers will be battling the Withering zones here for a long time. Many plants in the rainforest are already in decline. One with the forest! Let's nip that in the bud! It's called an Akasha Terminal. It's a tool produced by the Academia that utilizes the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata.
You may use an Akasha terminal to connect directly to the Akasha and access any knowledge you need.
The Divine Knowledge Capsule should be up for a secret auction within the next few days. Use it, and you'll gain the wisdom of the gods. I need you to find someone, a traveling merchant.
What kind of products do you seek, my dear customers? Shazam! Here's the goods! It really sounds like something big outside of the city is being hidden on purpose.
Mark my words, our god shall return. All will suffer retribution together.
You all saw that just now? The Grand Sage ordered us to stop the performance.
Maybe they see Lesser Lord Kusanali's birth as confirmation of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's death.
Aren't you ashamed of pursuing such frivolous and meaningless activities in this land of knowledge and reason?
This device, it's extracting energy from the ley line.
It looks like he used the Divine Knowledge Capsule.
The Sabzerus Festival.
What?
Go celebrate the birth of that god.
What's happening? Oh, come on!
Our Archon created the utopia that is SUMERU City for all scholars who sought validity, verity, and truth, while people like you wish to defile it.
It would be too risky to continue the Sabzerus Festival at this point. I don't want to get everyone in trouble.
We don't have many more festivals to waste.
Are you really so ignorant? Or are you just living in complete denial?
The world forget.
Okay, so that was pretty hype. There was a lot going on here. I love the music. Oh my god. It felt fun, right? there was like a weird intensity to it, but not like a stressful, foreboding intensity. the feeling of like, gotta move, gotta go. I like that. That was cool. Saw some familiar faces. So we have Tighnari here opening up, talking about this magical tree, the Ermin Soul, I believe he called it. And this tree is connected to the Archon of Wisdom, which we know as Nahida. She is not only the symbol of wisdom, but also the power of kindness, which is very cool. We also have Kale here too, which is super cool. I remember watching her trailers and I was like, yeah, she's simple, she's sweet, she looks like she's filled with joy and fun. And then I found out in the comments that apparently she has quite some dark history going on there, and that there is a comic or a manga of the events that she goes through before the story of Genshin Impact begins. So I will try to look that up as well and possibly read through that or react to it or you know, make some kind of video out of that, because I'm interested in everything, all the things. So why not, right? They're also talking about this festival, which seems like it's a pretty big deal. It seems like it pays respect to the Archon, and that Nilou will be performing a special dance. Now, I don't know if there's some kind of ritual aspect to it where they're supposed to summon the Archon themselves to pay respects. However, we all know Nahida is imprisoned at this point in time. And they make it very clear that they don't want this festival to happen. The sages anyway. The sages are like, nah, we're canceling this. We're not going to have it. And they're like, why? But that's because they're up to the no good thing. They're all about that whole captive Nahida nonsense behind the scenes. They just made the dance seem like a pretty big deal, so I'm sure that it's probably going to happen one way or the other. Whether or not there's any magic to it is a whole nother story, but knowing Genshin, there's all sorts of crazy stuff happening all the time, so I wouldn't put it past them. Now, there have been some occasions where I've talked about how I feel about Tighnari, and just like Goro, I'm not too crazy about this character, but for different reasons. Where Goro, it was more about personality, because I haven't personally experienced any of his in-game stuff. Despite what you tell me in the comments, thank you, but I haven't experienced it or seen it for myself, so I can't say whether or not I like it. I'll find out sometime. With Tighnari, however, my issue with him was his design. His personality, though, I kind of enjoyed him in this trailer and how he seemed to be just very helpful in general. I feel like I still need to see a little more. I don't think I would ever necessarily take back what I said about his design, because for one, it's just color theory. It's not even a personal bias. It's just how it is. So I guess to summarize with how I feel about Tighnari in general is that I recognize that his character probably confused me the most in the beginning, but as time has gone on and the more times I see him, I'm starting to warm up to who he is and his concept and stuff. Still not a huge fan of the design, but that doesn't necessarily make a bad character, because there can be exceptions based on that character's personality. So maybe I'll see more in this batch of version trailers. I'm sure I'm going to be running into them whenever I do play the game, so I'm open. Technically, I'm open for all the characters, but I just went from like, I don't know, to yeah, I'm interested. I would like to learn more at the very least. So I am looking forward to that. Here it says a terminal to directly connect to Akasha and access any knowledge you need. I'm wondering if that is just straight up technology, or is that Nahida being used to make that transference even possible? Once again, I know that Nahida is imprisoned right now, but I don't know exactly what she's being used for other than being the Archon of Wisdom, but what does that actually mean? We know that she can connect to things, such as that big magical Elden Ring tree. So maybe since she is the Archon of Wisdom, they are like siphoning knowledge from her to use within their university, and then made a business around it when dispatching it out and receiving info and all this stuff. Maybe they're just using her telepathy linking powers and able to make this network even a thing. Yeah, so I've just been like scrubbing through this video and it looks so good. It really does. So in one of my previous version trailer videos, I mentioned how trailers are meant to trick you. Well, not necessarily trick you, but they're presenting information that's not necessarily in order, not always talking about the same thing. They're kind of jumbled up, and that you shouldn't take things how you see them. Last time in my part 2 video, I kind of disregarded that, and I went in and I made some pretty crazy theories. Some people thought it entertaining, others were just like, play the game, which defeats the whole purpose of the video. Well, yeah, there were moments where I took things too literally, and then I over-exaggerated, and I was way off. Some people thought it was amusing, others, not so much. However, I am going to keep that more in mind this time going through this, and just recognize that everything I see isn't necessarily how it's supposed to be. Will I still get some things wrong? Absolutely. Will I get anything right? I don't know. But what are you gonna do? It's my video. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. So this guy right here, I feel like he's a sage. I feel like he's bad. I feel like he's the one talking right now at this moment in the trailer. How he's saying like, you threaten our knowledge in SUMERU and blah, blah, blah. And he could be talking to you, or he is talking to a bigger threat. I want to listen to the quote again.
Our Archon created the utopia that is SUMERU City for all scholars who sought validity, verity, and truth, while people like you wish to defile it.
I honestly think it's just a difference in perspectives here, where it's, of course, they acknowledge that the Archon created SUMERU, but they are more about protecting and keeping SUMERU as it is. And by doing so, they captured Nahida, they imprisoned Nahida, and their belief is that that is keeping SUMERU great. And the fact that you're showing up to free Nahida, they're like, why would you destroy our progress? Why are you here to wreck everything when we work so hard by doing this terrible thing, but to make this place great? They created this place, so isn't this what they should want anyway? You know, so I think that's kind of what's happening here. All right, moving on to the next one.
I had the same question every time I walked this way when I was a kid. Why is this high wall here? And can a wall really block sandstorms? It was only after I grew up that I realized it serves a more important purpose, keeping out people like us.
We've waited a long time for this day to come. Fate has finally dealt me a hand to play against the Academia.
Do you think the resurrection of the Scarlet King can truly change SUMERU for the better?
The resurrection of the Scarlet King will only result in war. And war serves no one. A shield is not enough to protect the most important things. That's why I must also wield a spear. Do your worst! Grant us your blessing!
You've betrayed Aru Village. Don't do anything until I've gotten to the bottom of this. Try something foolish, and even Candace won't be able to protect you.
Through me, justice is served.
If we're unhappy, we should speak up and let our voices be heard. Positions. Yeah.
All eyes on me.
Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since the Scarlet King's death all those years ago. Feelings of desperation are widespread.
Traitors are what us followers of the Scarlet King despise the most.
One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the academia.
Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
We're cheap labor, like livestock, but easier to control. Nothing more.
My experiment is a success. And now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
There is no need to fear. The pain will be brief. Your era is coming to an end.
Okay. Oh.
I am Mika, surveyor of the Reconnaissance Company. I will now be reading Grandmaster Varka's letter aloud for you all.
Does this mean the Grandmaster knew Razor's parents?
Fill up the barrels and store them away. Then wait for a windier day. Wax the bottles, seal them tight, for the south wind that soothes, for the north wind that bites.
Dear friends, let us now open the wines.
To the Animal Archon!
Going into this, it felt really cool. I was like, all right, yeah, there's this wall thing that's been referenced before. They're talking about the sandstorms. They're talking about the divide of people. We got to see Candace. We got to see Diha. We got to see Sino. There was some good stuff. And then Wanderer. Yeah, looking pretty sinister. Possibly responsible for this? Or maybe not. He might not have had anything to do with that, but maybe he did something that caused that to eventually happen. I feel like this is a pretty big deal. Who is this? This isn't a playable character, but based on the reaction of the Traveler, it's someone that we know, and they seem familiar. There's something in the back of my brain. There's something that's like, you know who this is. This is probably tragic. It looks pretty bad. But yeah, we have a Wanderer or Scaramouche or whatever you want to call him here. I know he's got like 7 names for reasons. The real question is, will he do the Fandango? That's the real question here. That's what I want to know. Will you do it? There's a mech. And is he just straight up connected to it? You know, in his teaser when he was talking about how it was like he was just feeling constant pain, it showed that he was like connected to these tubes or tendrils. I feel like it's this. I feel like they were referencing this moment. Or not, maybe not specifically this moment, but maybe any experimentation that has him, you know, in regards to this thing. Because it seems here he's in more control than he was in the teaser. All eyes on me. She's so pretty. Guys, like, I love her design so much. I know I've talked about her design before, but can we just appreciate this a little bit more? Can we? Is it okay? Can I do that? I think I can do that. Fundamentally, she has the best design. If I had to make a tier list, which maybe I will someday based on character design, spoiler, she's in top tier right now, design-wise. The gradients of blues, the intricate patterns on her cloth, the gold trim and accents here and there, the complementary red hair, just like, I don't know, they were on their A game when they came up with her design. So life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since the Scarlet King's death all those years ago. So to me, it seems like this wall was built in between to keep the desert dwellers out of the academia side of things. I guess they have some issues with each other. Not exactly sure why. It could just be some prejudice in general. That Alhaitham? What is he doing at the tree? You logic man? Look, bro, last time I looked at a tree too deep, I was way off the mark. You're already handsome. You need to be smart too? Can you stop? I like Dia a lot, especially after her teaser, where we saw a more softer, kinder side to her, where she kind of goes out of her way to help people. Made it very apparent that she does that. She's also rough and tumble, works alongside Candace, which is a nice dynamic. I really like Dia. I do. I do want to learn more about Dia. And then there's this here, which some people seem kind of happy. This guy doesn't seem too happy, but some people are like laughing. And are they being mind controlled? Like, what's happening here? This guy's got his fists up like he's gonna fight. And then there's this dude. This is my first time seeing this dude. Maybe this is one of those things that's a little out of the box. But hear me out. Hear me out. The way he's dressed. And there's a mask. Reminds me of Child. Talia. This guy's in the Fatui. I don't know his name, but he's a Fatui guy. He's in a similar getup as Child. Child also has a mask that he wears kind of like on the side of his head. It's similar, different color scheme altogether, but I imagine that not all Fatui members would look the same. That there would be some differences. Maybe it's just a difference in color scheme in some things. Based on his appearance and this kind of menacing, like, maybe not menacing, but this very like proud walk he has right here, arms out, just like, it seems someone like who's up to no good, kind of revealing their plan.
My experiment is a success, and now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
Does seem like there is some kind of manipulation going on, and this dude is behind it. I mean, it might not be this guy talking right now, but I got a feeling that it is. So it sounds like it's an important character. This guy seems like an important character, and I haven't met him before. So I just don't know, like, this line could be from something else completely unrelated to this scene, but if it is, they match it up really well, because you got all these people coming at you with their sheer adoration. So it matches at the very least. And there was an evil laugh in there. This guy's he's definitely got an evil laugh. You know he's got an evil laugh. This is a Fatui guy. 100% Fatui guy. Gotta be. Final answer. Once again, you had the very, like, more dramatic stuff, and then at the end here, they're showing this more softer tone thing. This event of some kind where you're just chilling with these characters, getting to know them. First time hearing about Razor. I've seen this character before. Not necessarily in any teaser or trailer, but I think I've heard a friend talk about them. I don't know story stuff. I just know them based off their design, and they have something to do with a wolf. Maybe. Don't know why. I guess they are Electro, maybe, because of the purple vision on their back. Razor seems pretty cool. I'm feeling like a little, I don't know, he gives me Princess Mononoke vibes, mostly just because of his outfit. He's got this thing going on, and that reminds me of San's toothy necklace that she wore. also in my subconscious, since I know he has something to do with a wolf, maybe that's why I'm also thinking that, because she's got wolves, you know? Not a fan of Mika's voice. And I know it's the joke that he's like the nerd meme emoji, but it's not even, it's not even that. He can have a nerdy voice. It's fine. Just doesn't sound like a kid. It's better here than it was in the demo. I will say that. It is better here. Let me listen to this again. So I want to give it a chance.
I am Mika, surveyor of the reconnaissance company. I will now be reading Grandmaster Varka's letter aloud for you all.
If it's the same guy, he has improved since the demo. The demo feels like they did it and they didn't figure out what they wanted yet and they stuck with it anyway. Maybe there was a time crunch, I don't know. And here it is actually a little more polished. It doesn't sound as much as a dude making a kid's voice. Still kind of does, but it's better. It's disguising it a little more. All right, that's what I want to touch on. Yeah, super cool, interesting world stuff with this wall. You got some cool characters, Dia, Nilou. We have a Fatui in here. We got freaking Wanderer. Yeah, but overall, this was a pretty fun one. I liked it.
Imagine this. We have orchestrated our plan and successfully rescued Lesser Lord Kusanali. We have changed Sumeru's entire political landscape.
Huh? Did I just see something dart by?
Having the doctor gone benefits him as well as us.
Amazing. So this is how it feels to walk out of that cage with my own body. Yeah! Hey! Make yourselves at home! Yeah! But now doesn't seem to be the time to indulge in this feeling. Is it too late for an extension? Ha! Not now. Stars, shine for me.
Luckily, there is still some time left for me to take care of everything before I leave.
So, you think this is over?
Wait. No. I can't.
That's the secret hidden by Ermin's soul concerning the truth of this world.
The Balladeer has already become a god?
No wonder your own people have abandoned you, God of Wisdom. At my command, you shall fall. My endless cycle begins!
Your ploy was to sacrifice the traveler here, was it not?
Nilou, are you sure about this? You're taking such a great risk for them.
I must admit that I'm a little scared. But I'll try my best for Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Hathem's plan is even more radical than I imagined.
Brothers, let's show them we Eremites are not to be messed with.
Wizard, you've betrayed all of Sumeru, betrayed its Archon.
Creating a god.
We are using human wisdom to create a god. Let us reenact the scene of the Archon War. Come and inaugurate my birth as a god.
These are getting so intense. I don't... Oh no. They did it again with the freaking emotion pulling. To go from this, seeing Nahida be freed, to seeing this almost broke me again. And then things get hype. You have Wanderer just killing it as a freaking villain. I went from like happy sadness to just straight up sadness to like, I'm worried. I want to fight. Like I just want to fight. And maybe my question was answered before when I asked like, what is the name of the desert dwellers? The Eremites? Maybe they're the Eremites. Maybe that's what they're called. Unless if that's like a different faction within the desert. Yeah, so in this trail they showed a lot of this. They showed a lot of this encounter that you are definitely going to do. I can't imagine this just being a cutscene. You probably fight Wanderer here, the Traveler and the Wanderer going at it. Were the sages trying to make a new god? Or maybe they were tricked? Maybe they were using Nahida's powers to make their city thrive in their weird way of doing so. But then maybe you had that Fatui guy get involved with their politics, and because I know that Wanderer is or was a member of the Fatui, that maybe this was like a scheme of theirs, and they made this mech, and with Wanderer's powers. Wanderer is an experiment essentially being used to puppeteer this thing. And in a way, I guess you could say that he too is a puppet. He's got all these cords and tubes connected to him, from him to this thing. And does he control this, or does this actually have a mind of its own? Are they melding together successfully? Is one thing more in control than the other? All I'm saying is that a marionette is a puppet and it has strings, and I'm thinking like the tubes that are connecting these two things together, being Wanderer and this mech of sorts, and then also non-literal strings like ties to certain people and organizations such as the Fatui. They're obviously making him do this whether or not he wants to. You know what? For him, maybe nothing really matters. Any way the wind blows. Am I right? More Bohemian Rhapsody? Let's get it. This has to be main campaign, right? Am I going to play this game and get to this point where it would be and then find out that I can't do it? I'd be so sad. I'd be so sad. This has to be main campaign. Come on. I also like how much Nilou has to do with the story here. We see Layla here. It's been a while since we've seen Layla, her being a student and all. That's the secret hidden by Irminsul concerning the truth of this world. I'm gonna look up Irminsul. What does it mean? Oh, Great Pillar. It's the freaking world tree. It's connected to everything. So it could be connected to all those other trees as well. So if Nahida has her consciousness linked to this world tree, and then there's other trees in different regions, that makes sense why she'd be the god of wisdom, because she would hear everything. Depending on how that works, she would hear and see everything. To me, that makes sense. Maybe it's not, maybe it doesn't exactly work that way, but that's pretty great if that is how that works. That's cool. I like that. That's, wow, alright. That's the secret hidden behind Irminsul concerning the truth of this world. So yeah, things are not as how they seem. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of moving parts. And I'm sure this game still has its secrets, right? Lore-wise. This line is kind of reminding me of the Overture teaser a little bit, because there was a lot of talk about the truth and what people see versus what's actually happening. Anyway, this looks hype. This looks like it's the freaking conclusion of SUMERU. But I'm only like 3 trailers in to the version 3s. So what the heck comes after this? Turns out that 93% of you have a skill issue. I mean, haven't clicked the sub button, but you keep coming back to the videos, so I just don't get it, man.
That's disappointing.
That's all I gotta say about that.
A friendly word of advice. Test of Courage events tend to give rise to a variety of strange rumors and stories. So please, be sure to exercise caution.
How was that? Were you scared? Who goes there?
So, is there really a ghost around here? Why does Paimon have a feeling that it's staring right at us?
Are you talking to me?
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me.
From this day forth, Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
Dottore. Dottore! In that case, I'll take some time for myself now. Squall and Fury! You dare to gaze upon me?
Dare to mess with me? Too late for regret. Have fun with this gift.
Scaramouche, the mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
Okay, so this was a lot shorter than I thought it was going to go. It seems like half of it is the trailer and the other half is just showing all the cool little stuff that comes with it, which is great. Man, I don't know what. Well, first of all, it's awesome, but it's one of those things where I'm like, man, I feel like this is a version trailer for things that are no longer in the game. Like, I feel like one thing is related to Wanderer here, like some story event thing relating to him, and that the other thing was another kind of public event dealing with like this haunted mystery, because I don't know if that would be something that is very main story heavy, but I mean, still fascinating stuff. Before I get into Wanderer, let's look at the earlier stuff here. So the beginning part seems to go back and forth between the characters experiencing something, or, you know, storytelling, going through whatever, and then it switches to a more like pop-up book storytelling kind of thing. Like, we have Goro here in the woods, and he looks like he's a cutout. I can imagine this technique being used in game, this visual style being used in game, where if a character is telling a story about something that happened, or just a story in general, they show a visual summary of it with these with this cutout like style. And if that's the case, that's kind of cool. I like that, especially for more of the sillier things that they do. But it also feels like there is something that is a little more deep here at the same time. We have this figure here, you know, are you talking to me? I don't think this is connected to any main character. I feel like this is an NPC for this ghost story itself, and that you interact with this ghost, or at least this character who is perceived as a ghost. If they actually are a ghost, I don't know. But this seems pretty interesting. Like, who doesn't like a good ghost story, right? And then we shift over to Fatui guy, who is Dottore. And there's kind of a back and forth, maybe not a direct back and forth between him and the artist formerly known as Scaramouche at this point in time. And obviously, as I referenced before, Wanderer is heavily inspired from Freddie Mercury, Queen, specifically Bohemian Rhapsody. If you actually go back to my teaser's reaction and you see the character cards in between each character teaser, I actually referenced Bohemian Rhapsody for Wanderer's teaser way back then. At the time, I didn't fully understand the connection, but I did connect a thing that he said in the trailer, which was a line from the song itself. I wish I had never been born at all. Yeah, so I guess I was just kind of making a subtle connection back then. However, I will admit that I didn't fully know he was 100% inspired from the song, because at the time, I didn't know Wanderer went by the name Scaramouche or the Balladeer, which are, once again, more Bohemian Rhapsody and Freddie Mercury references. So a little bit of insight, a lot of coincidence, and then confirming it once seeing what you guys had to say in the comments. Actually, here it says the name Kabuki Mono, which I'm not sure if I heard or saw before. I probably have seen it in the comments at the very least. Alright, so I had to look it up. I knew what Kabuki was, but as far as Kabuki Mono, it's a wandering eccentric. And yeah, okay. I could see that. Anyway, back to Dottore real quick. So Dottore is responding to someone else. There is someone who has, at least goes by a code name Jester, and that he had done what they wanted to do. I wonder if that's a character I've seen as of yet. For all I know, I probably have, and I just haven't come to the realization yet. Or this is a hint to what another future enemy could be. And then you have Wanderer here losing it, betrayed by Dottore. But yeah, he's going a little crazy, which, you know, I don't blame him. He's been through a lot. But then we have these flashes. Who dat? Who dat? Who dis? Oh, and then we have Raiden. Was she going up to a shrine? Oh, it's a tree. Is it the tree? Or is it a tree? Is this the same shrine that Miko is the maiden of? Back in Miko's teaser, when you heard all these voices talking about her, and then there was one referring to her when she was young and how she's like grown up and stuff, and I believe she was by this image, this tree. Not 100% on that. I'd have to actually go back and look, but maybe Raiden's paying Miko a visit. Oh yeah, and then we have Faruzan. I like her personality. Like I described before in a previous video of mine, I said she's got like angry librarian energy, and she talks about how old she is, and I just feel like I relate. I feel like me and Faruzan could be like best friends. We're gonna be best friends.
Scaramouche, the mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
Yeah, Dottore and Scaramouche had a falling out, right? Scaramouche here is just like, nah, I'm none of those things anymore. I'm whatever, and I'm gonna get you, Dottore. You betrayed me. You fucked me up. And Dottore's here giving a message. Just because you're unique doesn't mean you're all powerful. Like, watch yourself, dude. And still referring to him as Scaramouche, which in this case is, you know, calling him that because maybe that's just what he knows him by. But at this point in time, if they're actually butting heads, it could be considered an insult. Because Scaramouche actually means cowardly person. So it's a little bit of a jab right there. I wonder what he's doing here though. I wonder if in this possible story mission with Wanderer that you confront or you have an encounter with this mech again, or is this simply just a cutscene of Wanderer showing up here and this is part of the whole Like, I'm done being this, and this is kind of like a goodbye. Okay, but that was pretty cool.
A little get-together between friends, sipping the finest tea and watching lanterns float into the sky, bidding farewell to the past and embracing the present with joy.
Liyue will be hosting a Lantern Rite music festival this year. As a musician myself, how could I possibly resist the temptation to come take a look? If we actually manage to make the Iridescence Core Lantern Rite Grand Concert a reality, you think I'd let anyone else perform the opening act?
A Lantern Rite music festival?
If the sound of music can flow like the rivers and streams, perhaps the souls of those who have gone before us will hear the song of a new era. I wondered whether the melodies will be to their liking.
You mean, what am I doing, Claire? I did a performance for everyone.
From violating matters regarding human evolution to attempting the forbidden and fearing none, the 6 cardinal sins are the origin of all evil in this world.
Filthy outsider! Your coming was foretold.
It's like a nightmare that I can't recall. And the best guise is when you believe your own lies. Flicker. The process of elimination.
Drown in endless waves of monsters. You will all pay for your ceaseless arrogance.
I've heard rumors of an infamous rap that Hu Tao does. Despite that, this looks like a lot of fun. This was really cool. Once again, I love seeing these characters together interacting with each other in these social situations. The festivals always have this really cool vibe to them. You know, like I've mentioned before, I definitely like these calm moments. Where characters are just appreciating life. This right here is adorable. Like, that's just cute, right? Now, on the other side of things, they decide to go and get a little crazy over here. We have handsome smart boy Alhaitham. I really like his combat style. It's very like digital. It's very smooth. Kind of warps around a bit. Just like these really cool effects. And once again, he's like a super logical character, and I just really like that, how calculated he actually is. But yeah, we see some crazy monsters. We got this worm beastie. We got dead tree in the desert now. This one's very lively. It's the same tree. This is showing like a before and after thing. So this is probably some kind of guardian or definitely an enemy that you fight. But wait.
Was foretold.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought she had like a butterfly thing, and I was gonna say that would a butterfly or a moth or something would be more Senora, but there isn't one. Yeah, I think this is just an enemy that we learn about in the event. Final thought regarding that. Okay, before I eventually second guess or triple or quad guess myself again, let's go over here. I thought this was really cool. Everything seems to be frozen in place, right? Like nothing's moving. There are ripples for the steps that he takes, but you have like the petals frozen in place. You have the birds frozen in place. It's like an area that's just locked in time. Boy, I have so many questions. But that's cool. I don't know about the previous stuff we saw, because one was definitely a summer event. And then the next one looked like it was mostly about Alhaitham. But here with the Traveler, either this might be main quest related, or it's a snippet of what's to come in the main quest. This is a very cool thing. Alright, great.
Oh, dear creature, why do you bow down? For fear of the unknown? Or for a power which you covet?
I've never seen anything like this in all my life. What in the world does this place conceal?
You have a troubled look on your face. What happened?
I can't take it.
I think that he might have seen you.
Fate has not granted you the right to enter this place.
The greatest should never live to remember their fall.
Let's get it on! Hi! You're dead meat!
I'll make every effort to navigate us safely and report intel on the enemy. Precision strike! Let's keep going, team!
That's Kale, right?
Why is this humble windmill such a great view?
I mean, it's understandable. It must have been a long time since you last came to Mondstadt.
Because it is the true Great Vayu Viastra?
That's it. Think you've ruined SUMERU's reputation in Mondstadt beyond all hope of repair.
Okay, we got some more mysterious hilly troll things going on. And I thought I saw something before, but I don't know if it was just a clever cut or something else. Was it this?
Enter this place.
Okay, that was a cut, because we are clearly outside here with this weird energy around the hilly troll. And then there's a pop, and then it cut transition into this animation here. But that's like lined up perfectly. I'm just gonna keep my mouse on the hilly troll, and you'll just see. Like, perfectly. Hilly troll, glowing, pop, cut, guy bursts up into the air, comes back down and slams, pop in the same spot. Does it mean anything? Alright, here I am getting a little too deep about things. Based on some version trailers before, with some spooky hilly troll stuff being like summoned to an area and this dark energy around them, we're getting some similar things there. And then we have this transition where I know that that guy probably has nothing to do with the hilly troll itself, but I feel like that transition actually just is a hint to something in general. There's something weird with the hilly trolls. And I know that that dude probably has nothing directly to do with it because trailers are just clever, and maybe it was just trying to be very artistic and creative with how it's put together, because of course trailers are. I don't know, and it's okay, but I don't know. All right, I want to go back. I saw the mirror thing. Ooh, this guy. Have we seen this guy before? I feel like I've seen this guy in some art or something, but I don't know who he is. Wait a minute.
I can't take it.
Man, oh man, I'm wondering if that voice line, "I can't take it," is just placed over that. But they have that voice line, and the Hilitroll is reaching for its mask-like face, and we know that masks hide true identities. Once again, clever edit, but maybe still symbolic. Reaching up for the mask, we're showing a cracked mirror here, and then we have that clever cut, which I think is a clever cut. It's a good cut, but it's also, I think, clever too. I think I'm just gonna say it. I think Hilitrolls are people, or were, or maybe they're people that are cursed. I don't know if they can go back. I don't even know if they're aware of it, but it's maybe not all Hilitrolls, maybe just some. Maybe like the some in this trailer, maybe even the one before. I don't know. I'm just going based off of just the symbolism here. You got the mask, you got the mirror. You had that cut before, right here.
Enter this place.
They're also introducing some guy. That guy looks menacing, and a threat, and scary. Maybe you fight him, probably. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty intimidating figure right there. Okay, but then we have Dia. Man, they love showing her midriff, her abs, and you know what? I get it. I get it. Man, I can't. Okay, there we go. Yeah, man, she's cool. Falcon punching people, and that's awesome. I love that. And then we got Mika again. Oh, Mika, hello. Once again, about the character itself, I'm still kind of on the fence because I'm not a huge fan of his nerd voice, but I don't hate him. I think Mika is probably unique in his own ways. Okay, and then we have another event back in Mondstadt, and we have these characters not from Mondstadt, or at least haven't appeared in Mondstadt as of yet, showing up and hanging out for something. It's neat.
I come from an ancient race. We have existed for a very long time, possibly longer than any records in existence.
The history of dragons starts from the very beginning of Teyvat. Dragon King?
We were victims of the apocalypse. We also became the apocalypse itself.
Is this what they've become after experiencing the apocalypse?
No one can withstand the power of the apocalypse.
Both of you have only existed for a fraction of what you know as time. Yet you call yourselves lords of this land by leaning on the heavens' glow.
Is there any way to avoid fighting them? Hey, wait!
Life, death, and the world around us all follow a set of laws. A bitter pill to swallow. Taking a turn for the better.
Feast your eyes! Watch and learn! Sight clear!
The competition is heating up. Oh, and here's Kaveh bringing up the rear.
Maybe they're referring to dragons as one thing, and then this digital voice is speaking on behalf of something else. And the trailer's just kind of like combining multiple things to make it seem like one thing here. But yeah, they show these other beings that have like multiple arms and doing crazy things. Like this guy, and you got all these elements going off. Seems like they can control more than just one thing. Then look at all this stuff. They got like these portals. They look like different like galaxies. Yeah, I just feel like this is Abyss related. Then we have Baiju and his good old snake companion, whose name I can't remember. I really liked his music. I couldn't help but smile when I heard it because I was just like, yeah, this is good. Although I probably didn't convey that too well, but I thought it. Then we have Kaveh, you know, who's really cool. I like his design overall and his animations. Like I've talked about this before, but when he has this like swiping like slash attack, it reminds me of like a protractor, and because he's an architect, it just works aesthetically. It's pretty cool. And then we got a little bit of a competition here at the end. We have a bunch of characters. Looks like they're almost chasing a golden snitch, if you will, and kind of fighting each other in the process. You have Kaveh catching the thing and zooming off. Sino going after him. They showed Wanderer there as well. There's a bunch of characters partaking in it. I feel like when you do these story quests with Nahida, you're probably searching out these other trees for reasons, and maybe that somehow leads into obtaining more knowledge about dragons. But as far as the other thing, it looks like old tech. It's got a very different feeling to it. Even they have like these screens or something. Like I don't know. It's very different. For example, when you think of a Halo, you have the Forerunners, the race before humans. This might be in reference to something like that in Teyvat's lore, or perhaps it is just the Abyss. But at the same time, I don't know if the Abyss are considered ancient, so it's hard to say.
Do my ears deceive me? Or do you two have some breaking news to share with me?
Wow! So this is the King of Invocations Grand Prix!
A card snatcher? How very interesting.
City on the Lake teams with talent in TCG tournament as young prodigy best Favonian cavalry captain. Down on the ground, the dice spin around, while high in the sky, the sun shines bright. All right, say your piece, challenger.
I, Kaedahara Kazuha, humbly accept this duel.
Inazuma's Archon bolts her way to the semifinals, only to be stunned by a crafty opponent.
The nerve. Saying that in the presence of me and A?
Lightning from Inazuma won't be able to reach me in Fontaine, right?
You must be tired after the walk back to shore. Perhaps I should let you go first.
If this fried tofu with all the frills hasn't gotten too cold, I would be happy to play.
Tournament? The tournament has already finished. I used Forbidden Hand at the opportune moment.
Rest assured, there's no destination I can't deliver to. Thank you for choosing Komania Express.
Wow. So, this is SUMERU? There are so many huge mushrooms here. They're big enough to lie on.
And then they died. So I'll tackle this end bit first real quick because it's very short. I imagine this is a story quest with Yoimiya, who is exploring SUMERU for the first time. And she just has fun and you go along with it. She was from the Overture teaser. I forget her name, but she was the photographer taking pictures of what's her face in like the Mary Poppins. I call her Mary Poppins. She's wearing the yellow and has the parasol. Okay, so she's been around at least as an NPC just earlier than I thought, I guess. Well, just a couple versions earlier than I thought. That's cool. I like that. It makes sense that some journalist-like character would be going to different places, taking pictures, writing papers about the events and things. So yeah, that's cool that she's been in the world for a while. In fact, it seems like a lot of these characters that become playable characters were just people in the world that you could interact with or maybe do a quest for or something like that. Like Baiju. I heard that a lot of people wanted him to be a playable character for a while when originally he wasn't. But I guess when an NPC looks that unique, it's a hint that you will eventually probably get this guy as a potential character to pull for. Yeah, I like her. She's very cute. But all this stuff is very dramatic in a very funny way. I guess they are introducing a card game, right? I heard there's a card game. So this must be when it was introduced, I imagine. And I love Sino here, talking about how the tournament's already over, talking about the card he's going to play. Such a freaking nerd. I love it. Yeah, and then we have Kirara, who, you know, once again, cute design. She's like a delivery girl. She's a yokai, a nekomata. And I like how before they have her splash page here, that you see her running around in her little box form. Was this a limited event, or is the card game actually, did it stay in the game, or did they bring it back? I feel like I heard that it's just in the game now, but I could be gravely mistaken. I like TCGs, so I'd be interested in this if that's a thing you could just do. And if it is, do you verse other NPCs, or if you were to do co-op with a friend, could you actually verse them in the game as well? That would be awesome. Please let me know if that's a thing. But yeah, overall, this version trailer was pretty simple, not bad. It was kind of nice to not have something that hurt my brain too much. Yeah, it looks like it was just a fun time. So this is version trailer 3.8, the last one that's currently up. And after this, I'll be caught up. And whenever 4.0 comes out, I'll be reacting to that on its own. After this, I'll be getting into the characters' moves through the collected miscellany and story teasers. There's still a lot of stuff to go through, but this has been quite the milestone, I think. But yeah, let's watch the last one.
She's so solid and tough, but also clear and open, like an ice cube. Is that why she's able to dance anytime and anywhere she wishes?
Klee, quick! Get in the light!
Coming! Kaya can be the master tree. Mr. Honorary Knight can be the knight. And Paimon will be the fairy. Now, as the caretaker and your mascot, I shall announce your respective adventure duties. Let's go! This card is fast! Chugga, 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 woo, woo! I'm gonna call it the choo-choo card! Seems Kokomi's out of it after that ride. Look at that huge tent!
Do any of you have experience being on stage? Once the stage lights turn on, everyone's attention is focused on you.
I can't stand that feeling.
good news. I have a friend who has very kindly invited you to visit her.
Alright, so this is the summer event that just happened or is currently happening. This is Klee's adventure, which, now that I think about it, this is the second time Klee is doing a summer thing. I believe she had the first one, right? Was it the first one? Maybe it was the second. I don't know. But there was that one where you kind of went to the beach with her, I thought. And that was her thing. Once again, there's a little bit of like a role playness to it, but more so of like actually being on a stage, like they're going to a carnival, some kind of performance. You have Kaya, Kokomi, and then of course you have yourself and Paimon here. And I don't know, it's cute. I don't really have much to say about it other than it's just good vibes because it's Klee. However, you also have Kale and Eula in here as well. And I like Eula. From what I was able to understand about Eula from past stuff, and maybe it's because I was actually able to understand it fairly well. Maybe I'm biased, but I do really like her backstory stuff and how that affects her personality. And diving more into that in previous videos, I don't know, that was just a lot of fun. So it was cool to see a little bit of Eula again, and you have another character like observing her, Kale. He's so solid and tough, but also clear and open, like an ice cube. That's like perfect. That's a perfect description of her right there. And then asking the question, is that why she's able to dance anytime and anywhere she wishes? Yeah, man, she just does her own thing. She does what she wants because she knows who she is. It's another character that's been affected by the events in their past, being stereotyped and all sorts of things, but still just being themselves and moving to the beat of their own drum in the form of dance, right? So that was cool to get a little bit of that. I like the playfulness once again. It's Klee just being fun, you know, and you get to see like all this stuff, like all these like introducing all these mini games. There's a stage involved, which is interesting. I'm not going to look into it too deep, but whenever I think of stage now, I think of the Overture teaser, and I'm pretty sure it's not connected to that whatsoever because we're not in Fontaine yet, but my brain did go there. But I'm pretty sure this is just Klee having a good time. And we're going to see some more of Kaya, which is nice. Because we know that Kaya and Klee are like buddy-buddy and stuff like that. And he looks out for her and stuff and tells her stories, and she eats it up, and like it's cool. Kaya's a good guy. I'm not exactly sure if this is a screen and she's talking to someone through it, or is this her journal and she's just kind of writing or talking about herself. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't think it's that heavy. The tone of everything seems very lighthearted still, so I don't think there's anything dastardly or sneaky behind anything. I think it's just Klee being imaginative. I don't want to make this a downer. Klee's mom is obviously not here, right? And she's not been here for a while. I don't exactly know where she is, what she's doing, or what has happened to her. But Klee obviously does miss her. But Klee is just so optimistic and positive that she just deals with it. And like, but don't worry, I have something new to focus on. And yeah, I think that's it. I've enjoyed everything that I've seen so far. This was a lot of fun, a lot of cool stuff. I can't wait to jump into this game at some point and experience all this. I still have a bunch of other videos I want to get through first before I do that. I have some life stuff I need to kind of figure out before I have the time to do that kind of thing, but I do promise you that I will be playing this game, and I'm looking forward to that. Alright, so that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. If you are one of the 93% who are not subscribed to my channel as of yet, I recommend you do so. It just makes sense. Also, if you are hearing me right now, that means you made it to the end of the video. If that's true, then please, in the comment section down below within your message, leave the word Queen, and that way I will know that you are indeed a real one. Thank you so much for joining me. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.